It's May 1st, 2013, and I'm Emery, officially. I said that yesterday in my Transtastic video, but I just wanted to put a video on my personal channel talking about my name and gender change. So I went to court yesterday morning at 8 a.m. here in Ventura, California, and I'll just talk a little bit about the process. Like 9 months ago, um, my ex-girlfriend printed out the paperwork for me. You can get the name and gender change forms online for California and probably for most states. I know somebody asked me about Arizona, or no, New York. Somebody asked me about Staten Island on Tumblr a couple days ago, and so I Googled it, and you can get the name change forms right online. You download them, you print them out, you fill them out, and you bring them in. And they don't change very often. If the laws change, they change. Like here, I think the law changed in 2010, so all the forms were exactly the same when I went into the office. I just filled out the ones that I already had. I did go to a specific place in the government center where they helped me, which is really cool. I filled out all the paperwork with my birth name and gender and, my address and home phone and all my information. And then they want to know how much money I make. And there's a fee waiver form in addition to the name and gender change application forms. And here in California, if you make under $20,000 a year, you qualify automatically for the fee waiver. So that's like $300 that they waived. So that was really cool. I think there was a processing fee of, I think it actually ended up costing me like 160 bucks, which you have to get it published in a newspaper for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 weeks before you can go to court. So that day I went down and had the papers processed, and they gave me a court date for a month later. So yeah, all that was a month ago, and I went in to court yesterday morning, and it was a regular courtroom. There was a roster outside with 5 people on it. There was a little case right ahead of mine, but everyone was sitting in the courtroom together. Everybody who was scheduled between 8 and 9 o'clock was all in the same courtroom with one judge, and she called people up one by one. The case ahead of me was dismissed, and then she said the case regarding Quincy, which was awesome. She didn't say my birth name, she didn't say what it was about. I walked up and she said, "Hi, good morning." I said, "Good morning, Your Honor." Really nervous, and judges I respect. um, and she said, "I'm gonna go ahead and grant your request." And I was just like, okay. And she was like, "I'm assuming that's okay with you?" "Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor." She said, "Okay, have a great day." "Thank you, Your Honor." And then my mom cried, and I was like, "Mom, quiet." And then we left, and I hugged my mom, and that was it. That was it. All my papers were stamped, and I am going tomorrow to give them to the passport office in Los Angeles and do that passport stuff. So I still have to go to my bank, and I talked about it last time. They said I have to bring in the papers that the judge gave me. They will reissue a new birth certificate with my name and an M for male, which isn't the case in a lot of different places, but here it is, and I'm really grateful for that. I feel really lucky about that. That just ensures that if anybody does a background check or anything later on, then me being trans is still none of their business, which I think is a right that we should have as trans people. So yeah, somebody commented on my video for Transtastic this weekend, said, "God, you've been on T for how long and you're just now getting this done?" And I don't know why that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm a little sensitive to comments for some reason this week. But it's not something that's easy to do. And it's not, unless you have a bunch of money and a lot of help, it's sort of a process. And for me, it feels like it happened really fast. I mean, if you look at Quebec, just look at Quebec. I mean, it's different, and it's not easy. For me, it was easy. Like, yeah, I had to save up money specifically for that and figure out how I was going to get to and from and deal with paperwork and go to court. And but I think I have it pretty good. And transition here in California, in the United States, really is not a cheap process. It takes money, and even being on the trans healthcare plan with the Los Angeles Gay and Lesbian Center, I still pay 40% of my fees, and that's still a $60 copay every time I walk into the office. It's like $180 for labs, and then a $30 processing fee, and then I have to pick up my prescription. 2 prescriptions. Dr. Maddie prescribed me vitamin D because I had a deficiency. So yeah, do the math. It's not ideal. You know, in other countries, it's like, you don't qualify for healthcare? Well, then here, we will give you healthcare. If you can't afford to pay for something, then we'll pay for it because you're a human and you deserve to be healthy. Because we have the means. But that's not how it works here. Yeah, so how did I feel right when she told me that she was granting my request? I felt really overwhelmed. You know, I felt like, okay, I gotta make sure my mom's okay. And I have to text my girlfriend and tell her everything. And I uploaded the paper that says, you know, birth name to Emery and gender to male. And I got a lot of feedback, and I got a lot of congratulations, and I got a lot of love, and that felt really good. But honestly, I kind of felt, I still feel a little overwhelmed about it. Not that it's a lot to handle, but it's like, I never thought that you know, when I was pre-testosterone or really early in my transition, I kind of felt like, oh, this is never going to happen, and this is so slow. And now that I'm here, and then, you know, I thought that when I'm a year on testosterone and I finally get my gender change, it's going to be a huge relief. And I have yet to, like, relax and be like, oh, what a relief. I still just kind of feel like this has been quite a slow process, and yeah, it's about time, you know, and this is something that I deserve. It's not like, yay, me, I'm allowed to be me. It's kind of like, all right, so the courts did what the courts are supposed to do, and I'm really grateful for how awesome the judge was. I'm really grateful for the whole thing, but I'm not like over the hill jumping up and down, let's throw a party because I'm allowed to go by my name and gender, if that makes sense. It is exciting to be a year on testosterone. That's tomorrow. But, you know, I'm also on the verge of leaving the country, and still, as soon as that passport gets here, I'll kind of feel like, okay, I'm alright. I hope. I hope. But right now, I'm kind of high-strung. I don't know what that's about. So, yeah. Hi, Finn. I love you. Oh, but I mean, you know, the other thing I wanted to say is that I'm not like, yeah, I deserve this, and this is the way it's supposed to be, and like I'm not mad about anything, and I guess I should give myself a pat on the back for going through with it all by myself and paying for it and getting myself to court on time and all this stuff. But you know, I've heard guys, FTM guys, say this before. You know, when people say, "You're such an inspiration, that took so much courage, I'm really proud of you," that's something that I am really grateful for, and it makes me feel really good, and I have so much love for so many people, and I'm honored to be a part of this community and to try to help people. But I don't feel like I've had much of a choice. Like, this was a life or death situation, I think, you know, literally and figuratively. Like, if I had stayed in my skin without testosterone, without the name change and gender change, and just living as male, um, I don't know who or what or where I'd be, but I would not be here right now talking to you and as okay as I am. Like, I know I'm a little stressed out, but all right, I'm good. I'm good. And it's just hard to give myself a pat on the back for doing the right thing for myself. Why? I don't know. Anyway, that's all taken care of. You know, when guys get to a year, it's kind of, I hear that a lot, like, now what? You know, I got the name and gender change, I'm a year on T, but top surgery, that's what. That's what. Anyway, let's not get into that. I love you guys, and